years for reliable, affordable health insurance. Take good care, Arkansas. Shelter Insurance. For award-winning service, find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com. Summit Utilities, bringing natural gas to Razorback fans across Arkansas. Go Hogs! Also brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please drink responsibly. Harps, quality foods, hometown fresh. It's that simple at Harps. By Visit Hot Springs. It's time for a road trip to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Learn more at hotsprings.org. Regions Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC. The Arkansas Department of Health. Quit tobacco. We can help. By Roller Funeral Homes. For 3 generations, the Razorback Nation has trusted the Roller family to serve yours with all our respect. SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Razorback Athletics. By Edward Jones. Find a financial advisor near you at edwardjones.com. By Ballpark. Proud to be the official hot dog of the Razorbacks. Your local Toyota dealer. Toyota. Let's go places. Daspit Law Firm. Proud to be the official injury lawyers of Razorback Athletics. By Oaklawn Hot Springs, Arkansas's only racing casino resort. Baptist Health, Arkansas's largest and most comprehensive health system. By Qual Choice Health Insurance, a better choice for health insurance. Make the right choice with Qual Choice. By Highland Dairy, locally made, naturally delicious. The University of Arkansas Online, offering flexible degree programs. Apply now at online.uark.edu. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Razorback Sports Network.
It's Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Sawyer Sunrooms, and more. Hog Reaction postgame show is fueled by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Teed up, Todd Gold. They teed them both up. We are told both coaches got teed up.
This is Hog Reaction.
Well, that didn't go according to plan. Arkansas goes down to the Swamp and gets chomped. 108-77 the final as the Razorbacks just trounced inside, whatever you want to call it, the O'Connell Center, a Stacker Arena, Billy Donovan Court. It's got multiple names. It doesn't really matter. Razorbacks lose big tonight on the road, back in home this Wednesday against the Texas Longhorns, and then travel to Columbia, Missouri to take on the Tigers. Well, this is first time in, 3 years you've done a postgame show? This is not exactly the postgame show you want to be a part of, is it, Tommy? Yeesh.
No, you didn't expect to give up 111 on the road. We knew it'd be tough to win. I thought the Hogs could play them close, but 111 is impressive. I'm not sure which is better, the 111 that Florida scored or the 77 they held Arkansas to. The size we worried about all week long on the morning rush and leading up to this game turned out to be the pivotal aspect of this game. Arkansas was just outmanned on the front line.
Well, one of the things that I was wondering, and you poked it several times this week, is like, can you hit some shots? Well, I didn't hit any shots tonight. And Arkansas has been so good at getting inside the paint this season and scoring buckets that way. Still, again, 44 points in the paint from that area, but you think about what Florida was able to accomplish not only in the paint, but also outside of it as well. Just dominated the game throughout. They outscored Arkansas by 12 in that category. The Razorbacks missed a lot of layups tonight. You couldn't throw in the ocean from deep. And if you're going to beat a team like Florida, who has an abnormal amount of size, has excessive size when it comes to your front line, you've got to knock down some long-range shots, and the Razorbacks just couldn't do that tonight.
Yeah. We talked about that Arkansas needed to make double-digit three-point attempts. They needed to be as sharp percentage-wise probably as they had been. We talked about, being 11 of 25 or 12 of 26 or, some number that was probably around 40%. Tonight, Arkansas goes 4 of 13 behind the line. 4's not nearly enough. 13's an okay number. 31% won't kill you, but you needed more points than you got from behind the three-point line. Arkansas was just off. Another night where Darius Acuff has an off night by his standards, but still puts up 17 points in 34 minutes, 6 of 19 from the floor. And this is a team that struggled in a lot of ways. 40% shooting overall, Ty, they were 54% when they got to the charity stripe. There was just nothing going in tonight for the Razorbacks.
Billy Richmond really the only one to shoot offensively tonight for the Hogs. Kept him in the first half. The second half got out of hand. Florida was just running and gunning. Thomas Howell abused you in the second half. And really their entire team was productive. When you look at 14 from Boogie Flynn, 13 from Savion Lee, 12 from Chinelu. Houck had 22, as I said. Alex Condon, he goes 50%, has 17. Clavlar, or however you say that kid's name, he knocked down 4 threes and ended up with 14 points. So what is that? 7 guys in double figures for the Gators. That's a reason. That's a reason they put up 111 tonight. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open for you, 877-377-6963. We're probably here at about 12 o'clock tonight. If you could jump in via call, via text. I know there's plenty of reaction after you get trounced like that. Here's the reality of this situation. Arkansas is still definitively in third place, standalone. Alabama won tonight. Tennessee still right behind you. So you're still in a really good position to be in the top 4, even after, like you look at that game. Yes, you're really disappointed in the ways that the Razorbacks played. I am too. But Tommy, you're still in a great position right now. You got Texas, who beat Texas A&M earlier on the road today. You got them at home Wednesday night, and then you travel to Columbia. So if you go 1-1 this week, great chance you end up in the top 4.
You really needed Tennessee to hold on. I think Alabama led for 24 seconds in that game tonight that they win in Knoxville. That was pivotal tonight, like you said. Now Arkansas slips back a game of the Crimson Tide. You needed them to lose that game, and they did not. So now you're playing this week to stay ahead of Missouri, to stay ahead of Kentucky, to stay ahead of Tennessee. 2 of those 3 teams you have beaten this year. So it's an important week. I didn't realize till Zach DeBozark said it a moment ago, Arkansas is the only game on Wednesday's schedule. I hadn't looked that far ahead. But big night Tuesday night. Arkansas will play Texas Wednesday in the lone SEC game. And feels like a week you need to go 2-0 to control the destiny in that 3rd seed and get another shot at Alabama, perhaps in the semifinals. I'm not sure I want another shot at Florida if it comes in the conference tournament finals after tonight. I'm not sure I want another round with the Gators.
Well, the reality is Florida's in a standalone category by itself. They're the only team in this league that can get to a Final Four, in my opinion, or a national championship once again, maybe repeat like they did last year. Arkansas is just in a different weight class. You, Alabama, Tennessee, and we'll see after Nate Ament goes down what they look like moving forward. You're not in line to compete for a Final Four. And we've been almost misguided. There's been like a shadow just because you have these explosive offensive games that really doesn't get into the reality of what Arkansas is, and that's a bad defensive basketball team. And listen, again, you lost on the road to the best team in the SEC, one of the best team in basketball. I think that now won 9 straight in college in the SEC. But you're just not in that same weight class. And I don't like I hate being negative when it comes to that because I want to believe this team can get to the Final Four. Tommy, they are not a Final Four caliber team the way they play defense and the way they played the center position.
But you're better than you were tonight. What was it, 35's the final margin?
31.
Florida's 31.
No, you're
111
right. 34,
to 77.
34.
34 points. You're not 34 points worse than Florida. I mean, Florida's good. Florida's clearly the better team. Arkansas, I think Florida, you ran into a buzzsaw from the standpoint, I was listening to Chuck and Z there wrap up from Gainesville. They're cutting down the nets. You ran into a buzzsaw tonight. They wanted this game. It meant something to them because they wanted to clinch that title. I didn't realize Florida hadn't shared a piece of the title since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they clearly knew tonight was a big challenge for them. It was a ranked matchup. It was prime time on ESPN. I bet when the numbers come back next week, you're going to see a big audience watch this game in the first half at least. I don't know how many stayed around in the second, but probably had a decent number for college basketball. They wanted this game badly. You didn't get a B effort from Florida. You got their A-plus game tonight.
Yeah, and in all reality, they're going to win at least 1, if not 2 this week and outright win it by themselves and really have a great shot to win the SEC championship, too, in the tournament.
What was that, their 14th SEC win now? They're 14-2, so I don't think any of us suspected the champion may have 16 wins, but I would bet on 16 wins by the end of this week with with Florida.
They go to Lexington. That'll be an intriguing game from our vantage point, being that Kentucky's trying to get into the top 4. But they win today against the Vanderbilt Commodores pretty handily. Lot to react to.
We're Florida fans for that one.
Yes,
sure.
no question. Lot to react to. More of your calls and texts coming up. Lewis Automotive Group Hotline. Hog Reaction presented by Sawyer Sunrooms and More, the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. We've got more, including John Calipari reaction, after this.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Sawyer Sunrooms and More, and by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Game day, work day, or any day, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue has you covered with 100% oak smoked meats served by weight so you get exactly what you want. Hosting a crew, Rudy's group meals are perfect for parties, office lunches, or tailgates. 3 meats, 3 sides, all the fixings, and yes, even a tablecloth. And don't forget breakfast tacos every morning until 10 a.m. Made to order, or they've got grab and go for the whole team. Visit Rudy's at 4084 MLK Jr. Boulevard in Fayetteville. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, smoking good every time.
Hey Razorback fans, Matt Jones here. We're all experiencing higher prices on just about everything, and that includes sunrooms, patio covers, and windows. If you've gotten an estimate on any of these projects and you were shocked by the price, then you need to call Sawyer's. They've been making quality, affordable products for 35 years. They're local, they have 100% financing, and a beautiful showroom with all their products displayed. So give my buddy Buzz a call or check them out, sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hotline, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and More. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
10 years ago, True Grit Running Company opened its doors with one simple goal: to help people move better, feel stronger, and find their stride. Today, we're celebrating 10 years of True Grit. Join us all year long for anniversary events, group runs, limited edition gear, and plenty of surprises as we kick off 2026. Whether you're chasing a finish line or just starting your journey, thank you for being part of our story. True Grit Running Company, 10 years strong, built by runners.
Founded in 1950, Crabtree RV Center has grown into one of the River Valley's largest RV dealerships, proudly serving Northwest Arkansas, specializing in sales, parts, and service. We're truly your one-stop shop for all your RV needs. Conveniently located with easy access to I-40 and I-49, we're 40 minutes from Northwest Arkansas and just as close to our friends in Oklahoma, carrying top brands like Grand Design, Coachman, East to West, and Forest River. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Whether you're heading to work, hauling the kids to practice, or just hitting the open road, there's one stop that makes every mile better. Jam Mart, your local family-owned home for unmatched service. From Jam and Joe's Coffee to the cleanest restrooms in town to high-quality fuel and our go-to Jam Burger baskets. We've got everything you need to keep moving. Stop by any of our locations in Fort Smith, Greenwood, or Boonville. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in Arkansas.
Fill her up, please. At Arkansas Oklahoma Gas, we understand that cold weather months are about staying warm, keeping life running smoothly, and focusing on what truly matters. We also know that higher heating bills during this season can create stress, and we're here to help ease that burden. From a variety of payment options designed to fit your needs to assistance programs that provide extra support, our team is dedicated to helping you stay comfortable and worry-free all season long. Our customer care team is just a call away, or you can explore helpful resources online at aogc.com/winter. We're here for you this winter. Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. Sawyer's, sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. Hog Reaction postgame show is fueled by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
All right, back here on Hog Reaction, John Calipari had plenty of thoughts after the game, talking with Z.
This happens. You miss 12, 15 layups, like maybe in the first half. You have a chance to keep it close. I think we shot 40% from the line. We let them, their will was stronger than our will to either get rebounds or get open when they denied. This would be the outcome. Now, I told them after, we had a heck of a February. Now, we got 2 games left. We got to get our things together and let's go.
Tommy, you were bringing up earlier just how bad Florida won it from a regular season standpoint, had won or shared the title since 2014, which they were able to accomplish tonight. And you could tell, unfortunately, when it came to loose balls, offensive rebounds, Arkansas didn't get as beat on the glass as much as I thought they would from an offensive rebounding standpoint. They couldn't shoot the ball, which led to all these Florida defensive rebounds.
Yeah, well, we're -2 on the offensive boards and like -20 overall. But there were several possessions tonight as we watched throughout the game where Arkansas would be the first to touch the ball, have a chance to get the rebound, and then they couldn't secure it. And it would turn into a 50-50 ball. And rather than on the offensive end become a second chance or limit a second or third chance for Florida, the ball slipped away. I bet there were 6 or 8 or more possessions where Arkansas got to the ball first but just couldn't secure it. And in a game like this, with the size that Florida had, you needed the vast majority of those kind of 50-50 balls, if you will, when they come off the rim.
Let's talk to Charlie in Camden tonight here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Charlie, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up, guys? How you doing, Tommy? It's been a long time since I talked to you, but hope y'all are well.
Good to hear your voice.
You know, I'm not the negative fan. You guys know that, but I am an honest fan. One thing about this team, and I think we all can clearly see it, when they run into a team with that kind of size, it's going to be a struggle for them. I'm not going to minimize that. You know, you think about this year and the teams that, you know, can put out that, and there aren't many teams out there like Florida. I think they got 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", and they're, you know, down low, you know, they got a guy who can, what's the guy's last name? Howell. He could probably play the 3-4. You know, it's just, they're tough, man. And I knew going in there, I didn't really have high hopes for this game. I am not going to lie to you guys. I thought we might, you know, battle and put up a little bit better of an effort than we did. But you got to give Florida credit. They're head and shoulders above everyone in this league right now. And they deserve credit for that. I think they are one of the, I don't know how many teams you guys think can win it all, but probably 8 to 10 this year. Last year, I didn't think there were as many. I think this year they're one of those 8 to 10 teams, and I'm not trying to be negative, but I've even heard Matt say this, you know, depending on the bracket that Arkansas gets, I think they're probably a Sweet 16 at best. I think it would just depend on the matchups. If they run into a team with that kind of size, it's just they don't have it, man, and that's unfortunate, but you know, it just is what it is. I'll tell you, Billy Richmond didn't look scared tonight. Darius doesn't look healthy. And do you guys have any, you know, thought of maybe, I mean, look, I know this isn't going to happen. You think they possibly sit him at all these last 2 games? I know people have talked about that. He just doesn't look right. I don't even know if it would help him. But anyway, I just wondered. I doubt he sits, but, you know, is it really worth it? Anyway, you guys have a good one.
Well, you got 7 players, I don't think you can sit anybody right now. You know, that's the point. Charlie, I think you made several good points there. I don't know that we'd have had Florida in the national championship discussion 30 or 45 days ago, but they're clearly square in it now. And I agree there's probably more teams that have what we consider a legitimate shot at the national title. They're clearly one of those teams, Ty. But the Hall of Famer Clay Henry listening to us tonight, I think he made a point on a text to me that I think is something we hadn't considered, but I think he's on to something here. You know, Arkansas and the way they played tonight, short bench, but one thing we didn't gloss over, but probably didn't factor enough into the algebra for tonight is the fatigue that came following the A&M game, the pace of that game, the way it went up and down the floor, the number of possessions that game had probably had a lingering effect tonight on the Razorbacks and A&M, who lost to Texas on their home floor today.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like one of those physical football games that has a hangover. I think maybe that Clay could very well be on to a good point here that you know, a fatigue hangover from that Wednesday night game against A&M probably factored in for both teams today.
Yeah, and the game ended late, too, because it was an 8 o'clock game. I think when Charlie made the point about Darius, I've heard some Arkansas fans say that same thing, trying to sit out. One, it doesn't sound like he wants to sit out, which I think if you're an Arkansas fan, you're excited that you have a player that actually wants to play despite being a lottery pick. Two, I don't know how it gets better. I think it's safe to say he's dealing with an ankle. I mean, you just watch what happened in the Auburn game. The big, tall European kid rolled up on him, and he's been kind of hobbling and gimping ever since, and he still managed to score 49 against Alabama and have some other good performances since then. But that doesn't that's not one of those things. If you continue to play on it, it's not going to get better. Now, he can go without practicing like Cal and broadcasters saying he's doing and not doing a lot of stuff outside of that. But you're still on that. So I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know if he's going to be back to normal for the NCAA tournament or even the SEC tournament. But I at least respect that kid for trying to play game in, game out. Just didn't have his best stuff tonight. And really the last 2 games, to be honest, until that 10-minute stretch in the Texas A&M game.
Yeah, I'm with you that I don't see him, taking himself out. I don't think he'd let this coaching staff present an idea and that get very far. I mean, let's not gloss over the fact that he still had 17 points in tonight's game. It wasn't his best, but let's give Florida's defense some credit on what happened out there tonight. The Hogs didn't have a very good night offensively, 40% shooting from the floor, only 4 of 13 from the three-point line. Florida's defense had a lot to do with the ill shooting tonight as
Clay's
well.
talking about the physicality in the A&M game. You watch Florida tonight; they were physical with whatever guard Arkansas would go to the rim. They switched several guys onto Darius Acuff. It wasn't anyone's main responsibility. Frankly, I thought Boogie Flan did a really good job on him at times, which I didn't think Boogie had strengths defensively a lot of times last season. But I thought he did good. When you give that kid so many different looks, so many different players having to guard him, and then there's other guys just not making shots. When you don't have 3-point weapons that space the floor so you can get in the rim, and in addition, a lot of times you're going up against a 6'9", 6'11", or 7-footer when you get to the rim. It's just difficult, and he didn't have his best stuff tonight.
Yeah, I don't think he was talking about the physicality of the A&M game, the pace of the A&M game, the number of possessions in that game. Tonight's game I thought was way more physical. Obviously, several hard fouls, some flagrant situations, tempers flared a multitude of times from the benches and on the floor. So this game had, I don't know what goes beyond chippiness. This was the next step beyond chippy. This one really had some bad blood in it.
Well, Arkansas got shelled, and they didn't like it very much. And, I mean, TB, I love that guy. But I know it's your former teammate, and you're ticked off. You're getting just the crap beat out of you. There's just no reason for that. No reason to push a kid in the back. Luckily, Boogie was okay. There was another hard foul. He was bleeding later on in the game. And I don't feel sorry for Boogie. But it's just like if you're getting pounded, I know it's frustrating. And I know you want to win basketball games. But this team has showed multiple times this season when they get punched in the mouth, they make dumb mistakes. And you saw once again tonight, Arkansas, when they were punched in the mouth, they did some stupid you-know-what. The Cal and Golden thing was just kind of funny because I think it looked like to me that Cal was mad at an official, and then Golden started chirping him. Then Cal chirped back. Golden had an assistant step in front of him. So it got a little chippy, like you said, maybe even and it escalated beyond that. I'm just lucky I think they're just lucky there wasn't like a full-out brawl at one point tonight, because I think it could have gotten to that point.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the officiating at times left a little bit to be desired on what was allowed in the post. Arkansas needed maybe a little more leeway to hold their own in there. But one thing that crew chief Joe Lindsey did tonight is when it got a little wobbly, he reeled it in with the double technical on the coaches. There was, every one of those flagrant fouls that they went and looked at the monitor, you knew they were getting upgraded just to keep law and order. So I thought they did all they could do to keep the game on the rails and to keep that from happening. But in the end, Arkansas needed a game where there were fewer fouls and maybe a little more leeway with how physical they could play basketball. Some of the things that we're talking about that went on tonight were just really not basketball plays at all.
The play with Nick Pringle, there's a foul called on him, and then Chinaloo looked like he retaliated, hit him in the face, and they kept the foul on Pringle. It didn't look like a foul to me at all. And kind of like you said, when you had,
I'd agree.
And you had some plays in the post where Arkansas was either trying to fight over the top or front the guy and just weren't allowed to in certain situations. But that wasn't the reason you lost. Arkansas, for the majority of that first half, had less fouls than the Gators. And, I mean, you just got obliterated. Anyone that tries to –
it was the style. You needed to be able to be more physical, and Florida can afford to play defense with better technique than Arkansas could tonight's game because of the matchup difference.
We got a message from Tanner here asking about the Boogie being an all-out rat, to say Arkansas didn't show any love and want to know what called him. And then people are showing the FaceTime video from last year. If you didn't see the initial quote that was put up early on in the broadcast, Boogie was talking about on apparently his YouTube channel that no one was calling him or texting. I'm paraphrasing here. No one was calling or texting him once he broke his hand or whatever. And there's literally videos out there of Arkansas FaceTiming him last year. He had a productive night. Initially started off slow. I was hoping he would press and take some wild out-of-range shots to get Florida's offense off kilter and just kind of all over the place. He didn't do that tonight. Played good defense, but that wasn't even like the main storyline when you look at this game. I know that they were chanting overrated at Darius throughout the game, but there were a lot. I was kind of wondering if that was going to be a back and forth, if both those guys would try and go for 30+, but really just kind of under the radar, quietly had a good game against his former team tonight.
Yeah, and Acuff didn't have his best night. He's anything but overrated. I thought Jay Billis made a good point. Why are you chanting that? It's students. Students are going to act like students, but you're really taking away from the effort that Florida put in defensively to keep him down. And again, an off game is 17 points. So I mean that still says something about the greatness we're watching for a few more games that we have to enjoy Darius Acuff.
All right, we got to take a break. It's Hog Reaction, brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, Sawyer Sunrooms and more, and Rudy's Texas Barbecue and Country Store. More to get to after this.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Sawyer Sunrooms and more, and by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Wave Rural Connect has some exciting news. Our service is now available in a brand new zone covering parts of Midland and Montreal. If you're along Highway 45, 252 or 253, or on Douglas Road or Slaytonville Road, you can get fast, reliable fiber internet today. Don't miss out. Visit waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect. Internet that works when you need it most.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Founded in 1950, Crabtree RV Center has grown into one of the River Valley's largest RV dealerships, proudly serving Northwest Arkansas, specializing in sales, parts, and service. We're truly your one-stop shop for all your RV needs. Conveniently located with easy access to I-40 and I-49, we're 40 minutes from Northwest Arkansas and just as close to our friends in Oklahoma, carrying top brands like Grand Design, Coachman, East to West, and Forest River. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Winter's here, and as the temperature drops, energy use can go up. That means so can your bills. At Arkansas Oklahoma Gas, we know managing energy costs isn't always simple, and we're here to help. We offer practical energy-saving tips, convenient payment options, and connections to assistance programs to help you through the season. Whether you're planning ahead or looking for extra support, our team is ready to help you explore your options. Learn more at aogc.com/winter. Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hi, this is Mitchell. Before DK Fit Meals, I was spending too long in the kitchen cooking. Now I'm married, have a young daughter. I just don't have time anymore. Thanks to DK Fit Meals, I just heat it up and boom! I've got a chef-crafted meal that fits my goals. High protein, perfectly portioned. I know I'm getting clean, fresh food that always tastes amazing. Stop prepping, start achieving. Find your flavor at dkfitmeals.com. That's dkfitmeals.com. So easy, even Ty can do it. Fuel your life with DK Fit Meals.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. Sawyer's, sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. Hog Reaction postgame show is fueled by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
I'm happy it's over.
Very quick response from John Calipari after Arkansas's defeat tonight, 111 to 77. I think that's how a lot of us feel.
Yeah, you could tell his answers were when talking with Matt Zimmerman on the broadcast. They were very short, very direct. You could feel the disappointment in his voice. There hadn't been a lot like that. It's very few times you're going to find John Calipari short on words when talking about his team, and he didn't have a lot to say. It was a pretty brief post-game conversation tonight with Z.
Speaking of brief, I just got the result from Mike Kaywood. It's like 5 sentences. Arkansas stumbles at number 7 Florida, and it's got the stats and stuff attached. Again, not a lot of positives that you can take away from a game like that, and they have a lot to.
Everybody's ready to get on the plane and go home.
Yeah, especially
everybody wants to go home because it's going to be a late night regardless.
I think we might have done the math. Columbia, South Carolina, or Gainesville, Florida are the two longest trips for Arkansas players of any sport to get back to, and they're going to be getting back late into the night. It's 12 o'clock Eastern. I don't know if they're already gone on the plane or heading back to Fayetteville, but yeah, it's going to be a long flight home. Tommy, I would guess there's not going to be a lot of talking on that plane.
No, probably a lot of people with their AirPods or their headphones on, and I don't know how much reflecting on that. Man, I think this is one you just. I don't think you spend a lot of time on it. I mean, are there things you could learn? Sure. I think it's a burn the tape deal, and you move on to Texas. You can't do anything about the Florida game. If you play them again, we'll come back and look at it. If you play them in the SEC tournament or somewhere else down the road, but Ty, I think it's a burn the tape. Wash it off, and let's get ready for Texas kind of situation.
And again, a big win for Texas on the road in College Station today. I think if you're Arkansas and you've gotten some praise, and deservedly so. I mean, again, you're the third best team in the SEC outright right now. But this game shows you there is still a significant gap between you and the college basketball elite. You are not first tier. You are not the upper echelon. You're second or third. And I don't know if that can change. I mean, I hate to keep hammering the point about the 5-man, but that was once again on display tonight. Nick go 0 for 6 from the free throw line tonight? Let me double check on that. Pringle, 0 of 5 from the 3-point line, 0 field goals, had 2 rebounds in 11 minutes. Malik Ewan had a little better game. He's 4 of 12 for 11 points and 8 rebounds. He had some offensive rebounds and some defensive rebounds. I thought he was sticking his nose in there. But when you go up again against a team like the Gators with so many pieces on the front line that you have to deal with, you were hoping that you could get better outings from those two, and you simply didn't tonight.
Prior to losing their previous 2 today, Texas had won 5 in a row in league play in 6 of 7. They lost at Georgia and lost to Florida, which we saw today firsthand how good they are. This has been a Texas team that has played really well since early January, since early February. So, you're catching a team that hadn't lost a lot lately. They had a stumble last week in 2 games, or week prior, I guess, the Georgia-Florida game. But you're not getting the Texas team that they're probably playing right now better than the record. And a lot of times it's about when you play a team and how they're playing at that point. And you're catching Texas right now kind of hitting their stride.
They're at a spot, too, where they're a bubble NCAA tournament team, 9-7 in conference, and they are 18-11 overall. So they're going to be looking for that marquee conference win, and it would be a great opportunity for them to get it in Bud Walton Arena Wednesday night. Senior night for the Razorbacks, and Darius Acuff's probably last game ever as a Razorback at home. The emotions, hopefully Arkansas will come out strong because Texas is going to be gunning for you. And then Missouri on Saturday wants a little revenge. They lost an 8-point game to you a week ago, and they feel like they owe you one. So this week, by no stretch of the imagination, is easy. Like we had mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Go ahead.
No, it's not going to be easy. And you need to watch the teams around you. There's a little bit of scoreboard watching going on. Alabama plays at Georgia on Tuesday night. That's a big game. You'd love for Georgia to pull an upset. You needed Alabama to lose to Tennessee today. Tennessee plays on Tuesday at South Carolina. They're probably not going to lose that game to South Carolina. Missouri's at Oklahoma. Can Oklahoma rally? I mean, Kentucky's at A&M, and then they got to play Florida at the end of the week. Those are the teams you need to watch because they're the ones right around you in the standings. So it's really important you win, and maybe just to give you some breathing room on what I think will be a difficult road trip to Missouri. You'd sure like to have the right teams lose on Tuesday night because, again, we mentioned this earlier. I didn't realize till it was mentioned on the postgame network, the network broadcast. Arkansas and Texas is the only game in the league on Wednesday.
Why
there
is
are
that?
7 games Tuesday. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. But Arkansas and Texas, the only game on Wednesday night, and it's on ESPN2. But a full slate on Tuesday night.
There's some big-time college basketball matchups today. Texas Tech got a massive win in Ames, Iowa, over Iowa State. I did not see that coming. You had Arizona get a little revenge on Kansas for them getting tattooed earlier on in the season. St. Mary's currently up on Gonzaga right now by 10. That's a good rivalry in the West Coast. Alabama, Liberian Philon hit a jumper late to give Alabama a lead after they were down almost the entirety of that basketball game. What else? Duke pounded Virginia by like 26 today. So there are a lot of top 25 matchups, and unfortunately, kind of like what happened in Cameron Indoor, it was a lopsided one in a fair. I think if you're John Calipari and you heard the clip there again, just how short and sweet that was. Like sometimes as a coach, you're like, okay, maybe we don't win this game, but it won't be as bad. But really, at like the entire 20 minutes of the second half, you never felt like Arkansas was in that game. Like, at all. I don't know what they ended up cutting it to in the second half, but just no life for Arkansas for more than half of that basketball game.
What was the biggest margin was, 35? I don't have the box right up in front of me. Maybe you do, but I think their biggest lead was 35 points maybe. They won by 34 in the end. I don't think they ever touched 40, but, I mean, you were never a threat in the second half at all, so – I mean, this was a game that really got away from Arkansas after about 10 minutes to go in the first half, that run in the middle of the first half, Arkansas never really caught their balance again after that moment. You hung around for the first 8-9 minutes, and then after that, Florida went on a run, and you never really answered back.
Rick from Calico Rock, we didn't come to play. We came to watch. We blinded in the headlights. We were mesmerized, attached. There was no team effort. The season is basically over for us with such a good team, and ACUP streams are gone. That the last part of that text, Rick, is just not true. I think there's going to be some overreaction tonight, and obviously on Monday when we get through our local shows, and people are going to be ticked off, deservedly so. You had college game day. You felt like that, hey, this is a chance for Arkansas to continue to shine against the best team in the SEC, and instead of shining, you got squashed. But no, the season's not over. It's just, again, you're not in the same weight class as Florida. If that game was at home, you would not win in Bud Walton Arena.
Well, unless one of these teams stumble in the NCAA tournament that has the size advantage like we saw tonight take over the game, you're not getting to the Final Four. This Florida team's the kind of team that beats you in the Elite Eight. Is Arkansas still a team if they get the right matchup and the right situation? And that point is true for a lot of teams, by the way, in the NCAA tournament, that you need the right match up, the right draw. But this is still a team that can make the second weekend and maybe make the Elite Eight. I'm more convinced this is not a Final Four team unless there's something dramatic happens in their bracket. But, hey, let's play 2 games this week, hopefully go play 3 in the SEC tournament, see what happens. I don't really want to play Florida again after what happened today, but I'd sure love another shot at Alabama. And I think, right now, you'd have to feel good about you're going to be a 5 seed. I don't think you could be any higher than that after the way they got by the margin of defeat today. You probably can't move to the 4 line unless you win the SEC tournament.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to shake out in these final 2 games and how much what's going to happen in Nashville is going to dictate where Arkansas falls, but definitely did not help themselves on the seed line tonight. All right, we got to take a break. It's Hog Reaction presented by Sawyer Sunrooms and More, the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. More to react to, more of your text and calls on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline after this.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Sawyer Sunrooms and More, and by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Raleigh. This is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. You know, a famous coach once said there's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there's only one Razorback.
And there's only one Razorback store that's owned by a family of University of Arkansas alums.
And that's us, the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. Y'all know why seagulls fly over the sea and not the bay?
Why?
Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be called bagels.
Dad, just please stop.
Anyway, the Stadium Shop on Razorback has everything you could want. Tees, hoodies, puffer vests, polos from Nike, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Champion, and many more.
Plus, we have stuff for your fan cave and those Razorback golfers out there.
So next time you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Or you can shop us on that Googleator, Facegram, Instagram,
Dad, just stop
Instaweb.
before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
This is Hog Reaction.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Around here, we don't just know your name. We know your dad's favorite truck and your kid's baseball team. That's how it is when you've been in the same town for 90 years. At Hug Chevrolet GMC, we believe in handshakes, hometown service, and treating you like family. Because you're not just a customer, you're a neighbor. Hug Chevrolet GMC. The people, the place, the pride.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Founded in 1950, Crabtree RV Center has grown into one of the River Valley's largest RV dealerships, proudly serving Northwest Arkansas, specializing in sales, parts, and service. We're truly your one-stop shop for all your RV needs. Conveniently located with easy access to I-40 and I-49, we're 40 minutes from Northwest Arkansas and just as close to our friends in Oklahoma, carrying top brands like Grand Design, Coachman, East to West, and Forest River. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. Sawyer's, sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. Hog Reaction postgame show is fueled by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
All right, back here on Hog Reaction. Arkansas falls a 111-77 in Gainesville tonight. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open for you, 877-377-6963. Florida had just so many guys, and I guess it was 7 that ended up with double figures. Boogie Flan, Davian Lee, Cheney Lou, Howe, Condon, Clavelar, I think are the guys that, and they just came in waves, Tommy. They were talking about, I don't know if you listened to it on the broadcast, but one of the kids from Orlando had really made a push to get in that 8-man rotation and kind of started out with 7. And it really seemed like when they went to their bench, there wasn't much of a drop-off tonight for the Gators.
When you score 111 points as a team, you're going to have quite a few in double figures. So, yeah, that's exactly what happened tonight. Florida, to me, has moved into that. I mean, the ranking was 6. You know, I know that there's some recency bias because we just watched them destroy the Razorbacks tonight in every facet of the game. But you tell me there's a huge gap between Duke and Florida. You know, I think Duke's probably still the better team, but you know, Michigan's Michigan in particular. You look at Arizona, some of those teams. I think Florida's coming on at the right time. When we're seeing some teams like Texas Tech, who's slipped with an injury, and Houston hasn't been the same team the last couple of weeks. Florida seems to be getting better here in February, and I don't think it's just because of the teams they play.
Well, last year they were in a similar situation where they started catching fire in February, and they ultimately went on to win the national championship. I think they won the SEC tournament championship too. This team is, you heard it on the broadcast tonight with Shulman and Billis. Last year's team was about guard play, and then the bigs were complementary. This year's team is about their front court and the guards and small forward and kind of fill into that. So that's just ultimately what they have, and ultimately what you weren't able to handle tonight in Gainesville. Now, this week, Cal, we were talking about Texas earlier. Here's John Calipari on the Texas game.
Won another game. They're playing good.
Yeah, they just went on the road at A&M.
Yep.
SEC really is in a logjam right now, Tommy. Arkansas, again, in third place. Alabama's in second. Florida's in third. But there are a lot of teams nipping at the heels of the Razorbacks, and no guarantee of locking up a top 4 seed.
Now, I don't think there's going to be anything easy about either game next week. At home with a Texas team that's won a lot lately, and you mentioned the big win today on the road at A&M. Missouri, I don't think that's going to be an easy road game. I think that Missouri game, depending on how the midweek goes in their game midweek, may boil down to the winner gets the 4 seed. So there, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to still be decided in this league. The edge Arkansas has over Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee, though, is they have 11 wins right now. Somebody's going to have to, to beat Arkansas twice, maybe this week. Texas and Missouri for Arkansas to be knocked outside that top 4. I think if you go 1-2, you're probably in the top 4.
I want to go back to what Charlie said earlier. If you're a Razorback fan and you're looking at Darius's minutes and what he's done lately, so here are the last 3 games, Tommy: 4 of 11, 7 of 19, and 6 of 19. Now, keep in mind he's 22-6, which leads the conference, but there has been a drop off lately. And I think that drop-off is partly due to what he's doing with his ankle. How concerned are you in these final 2 games this week and then also in the SEC tournament in Nashville leading up to March Madness about his health and just where he is as a player right now?
Oh, I mean, I think when he tries to dismiss it like he did the other night when he was interviewed post-game that his ankle's fine, I think there's likely more to it than we all know. You don't wear a boot, which they've talked about publicly, just for funds and as a precautionary measure. Mm-hmm. That tells me there's more to it than they're going to tell us. But why would they put that out there publicly? Why would they give that information openly to their opponents? Why would they put that out there for NBA scouts and general managers and teams to thicken their file on ACUF? So, is that ankle probably worse than we know? Common sense would tell me yes, but so far, he seems to be playing through it. How good could he be if he was 100% healthy at this point?
Yeah, that is something I was expecting.
As bad as that ankle was, he still scored 49 and 2 overtimes at Alabama on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has it gotten worse since then? You probably could convince me it has. Probably playing 50 minutes on it that night hadn't helped it either.
Yeah, just the health of his team right now. I saw Isaiah Sealy in action a little bit tonight. How many minutes did he end up playing? Isaiah ended up going for 2 minutes in this game. Not 2 minutes. He played 7 minutes in this game. Now I had 2 points, 1 of 2.
2 points and 7
of shooting. But you're still waiting on if you're going to get Carter Knox at some time during the NCAA tournament. But you went to an 8-man rotation tonight. I was kind of surprised. Now Florida got in some guys late. I was surprised that Cal didn't at least at a certain point put that in the game. Florida honestly waited way longer down the stretch when the game was well in hand, Go.
I think the chippiness of the game, when
all
that started to flare up, I thought, well, they're going to beat us by 50 now.
That's why.
I didn't think that. I thought they kept their foot on the gas as a result of just how the game was played. And you say 8-man rotation. Sealy played those 7 minutes came late and were not impact minutes. Mm-hmm. It was really a 7-man rotation throughout the game.
He played in the first half though, didn't he?
But he played 7. I mean, the majority of those minutes were late in the game when the game was decided. I'm just saying you can talk about an 8-man rotation and you're correct on that, but he had 7 minutes total in the game, and he was, I believe, on the floor when the game ended.
Yeah, one of the things Arkansas has has dropped off lately. We were talking about Darius taking a step back in these last 3 games from a shooting percentage. Arkansas has not shot the ball well from the 3-point line. I don't know. I'm going to look up where they rank in the SEC. They're 4-13 tonight. At least Cal's probably happy they didn't get so 3 happy during this game and didn't try and jack 20 or 25 or 25 or 30, I should say. But Arkansas at one point was leading the Southeastern Conference in the 3-point line. They're ranking, I guess they're 5th right now, so they've dropped off a little bit. But lately, it sure seems like Arkansas has not hit a lot of threes. I think they hit a good chunk of them in the Alabama game, but more often than not, I feel like lately they have not hit a good chunk of 3-pointers in SEC basketball games.
That's where conference stats versus full season stats can sometimes lie to you. When you start playing your conference games, some of those numbers drop off. At one time, wasn't Malik Thomas wasn't he up near the top of percentage 3-point shooters in the league? So, but to your point, at least you abandon the attempts. 4 of 13 in and of itself isn't just horrific at 31%. But as we said going into the game, you really needed to make about 10 to 12 3-point baskets. You needed to be like 10 or 11 of 25 in this game to really have a chance to win it.
Hogwild and Van Buren has given us his Final Four: Duke, Michigan, Florida, and UConn. That's a pretty good, solid Final Four based on that.
Could be all ones again.
Yeah, it was last
I don't know if Florida will be a 1, but I don't know. They could be the way they're playing. I mean, I wouldn't completely rule it out.
That's what they were talking about in the broadcast. I think it's going to end up, if they win the SEC regular season, which they're sharing in, they win it outright, and they win the SEC tournament, they're going to be a 1 seed. Because of how they've played lately. And the only bad non-conference loss that they have is the TCU one. All the other losses are against, you pointed out this week, are against really great to good competition. So no one's going to be, it's like Arkansas. Arkansas doesn't have a bad non-conference loss. Really, when you look at their conference losses, Georgia's the worst maybe? And that was on the road? I don't know which other loss you would cite as the worst loss that they have on their schedule. Now, that's not going to help you go to a 4 or 3 by any stretch of the imagination, but Arkansas doesn't really have any bad losses either, and you don't want to, like at Texas at home this week, losing it, that would be considered a bad loss, even though Texas is not a bad basketball team, but it's at home. You feel like you should win it. They're on that kind of bubble line right now, even with the win today. They probably are going to the NCAA tournament, but they still need a big-time win, and you need to take them down as of Wednesday night.
Yeah, coming in before today's game, Florida was 6th in the net. The other thing we got to remember, 2 SEC losses. One of those came in the conference opener back January 3rd or whatever. I think that was Saturday the 3rd. They lost to Missouri. And then they've got a home loss to Auburn. Their only home loss of the year. They're 12 and now 13-1 on their home floor after tonight. They've only lost 1 game outside of a quad 1 game. So I mean, Florida's building a resume, but again, they don't put the premium on the last 10 the way they used to. But you look at the way this team has really played. Their conference record at 14-2. One of those 2 losses was in the beginning, so they're really 14-1 in their last 15 games.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that's, again, an SEC that's down relative to what it was last year. Probably 2nd or 3rd best conference in college basketball, but still to go through and be where you feel like you could be 16-2 this season, where we all agree that probably 15, 14 wins will get you the title based on how crowded it's going to be. What's so difficult about being a repeating champion is having that same level of expectation, that culture you talk about. And I don't want to give too much credit for Florida because they haven't won it all for a second consecutive year yet. But like UConn did it a few years ago and like Florida did in 06-07, this team is right in line to do that. So, again, there's no harm and foul in losing to a potential national championship contender on their home floor. The harm and foul is losing to that team by 34, where for 30-plus minutes you didn't feel like you had any chance whatsoever to win the basketball game. Arkansas fans aren't frustrated tonight because you lost. Arkansas fans are frustrated tonight because you got punked.
I'd agree, and I think it was just a wake-up call that you said this earlier, you're not in the top tier. You're at 2nd tier at best, but there's a lot of teams, Tennessee's right there with you. Alabama's not a top-tier team. There's probably 6 top-tier teams in the country right now. Illinois would be amongst them. Watching Gonzaga right now, they're getting beat by St. Mary's. They're getting ready to lose this game.
Go Gales.
They're going to take a tumble. So, they're a team that's number 4 in the net. But really, it's Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and then would Florida go in there? Would Illinois go in there?
Florida.
Gonzaga's coming out after tonight, but Houston's dropped down. UConn probably not. So I think it's Duke, Michigan, Arizona, Florida right now that you got to consider your 4 best teams in the country.
Yeah, and you mentioned Tennessee kind of in the same area that you are. Nate Ament, where he is after that right leg injury, if you didn't see it earlier the game before Arkansas, he got rolled up on, and what that looks like. And honestly, kind of looks similar to Carter's injury, except Carter's was just by himself on a wet spot on the floor. Ament got rolled up by an opposing player. So Tennessee's future is not going to be the same without their best player and their star freshman. So something to keep an eye on when you're talking about scoreboard watching, as you were earlier, seeing where Tennessee's going to be. All right, we got to take a break. It's Hog Reaction, brought to you by Sawyer Sunrooms and More, the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Buzz and his team can help you out with everything you need at Sawyer Sunrooms and More. Go to sawyers-sunrooms.com. They've been doing it for more than 30 years. Robert, Elizabeth, Matthew, and the team in Raleigh at the Stadium Shop on Razorback have all the gear, right down from bomb walkers, so you can get the baseball polos, the Hawaiian shirts. They've got it all. Just go to shop, SHOPPE, on Razorback.com. And when you're thinking about tailgating for March Madness or just a party in your future, think no further than Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Their breakfast tacos are unbelievable, but when you need barbecue, they've got it. It's 100% wood-fired with real oak at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, continue on Hog Reaction after this.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Sawyer Sunrooms and More, and by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Hey Razorback fans, Matt Jones here. We're all experiencing higher prices on just about everything, and that includes sunrooms, patio covers, and windows. If you've gotten an estimate on any of these projects and you were shocked by the price, then you need to call Sawyers. They've been making quality, affordable products for 35 years. They're local, they have 100% financing, and a beautiful showroom with all their products displayed. So give my buddy Buzz a call or check them out at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Game day, work day, or any day, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue has you covered with 100% oak smoked meats served by weight so you get exactly what you want. Hosting a crew, Rudy's group meals are perfect for parties, office lunches, or tailgates. 3 meats, 3 sides, all the fixings, and yes, even a tablecloth. And don't forget breakfast tacos every morning until 10 a.m. Made to order, or they've got grab and go for the whole team. Visit Rudy's at 4084 MLK Jr. Boulevard in Fayetteville. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, smoking good every time.
This is Hog Reaction.
When it's time to stock the bar, fill the cooler, or grab the perfect bottle, stop by River Point Wine and Spirits. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer at the right price. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. So come stock up for game night, date night, or the weekend ahead. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Arkansas fans, get fired up at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for Tex-Mex and Arkansas Game Day. Catch Arkansas basketball games live on our big TV screens. And when you wear your Arkansas gear, score half-price apps and cheap taps. Enjoy complimentary chips and homemade salsa, fresh and made from scratch every day. Don't miss Joe's Mexican-inspired daily specials, fast, friendly service, and the best game day fun in town. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Take your tax refund the extra mile with a road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle at Rath Auto Resources. We've been working around the clock to beef up our inventory, and we're proud to say this is our best, largest selection of road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles ever. With so many to choose from, price to sell, and backed by comprehensive warranty, there's no reason to settle for less. Come see why your friends and neighbors voted us the River Valley's #1 pre-owned car dealer, and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Brad Howe in Van Buren or call Ryan Hughes in Fort Smith.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. Not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust a team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Want pavement protection that goes the distance? Seal-Tite of Oklahoma now offers Rhino-Tite Premium Asphalt Emulsified Sealant, the next level in driveway and parking lot care. Healthier for the environment, Rhino-Tite delivers superior defense against weather, UV rays, and wear and tear. With its high solids content, you'll get a smoother, stronger, longer-lasting driving surface. Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or a contractor buying in bulk, Seal-Tite has the products and support you need. Visit SealTiteOklahoma.com today and protect your pavement with Rhino-Tite.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. Sawyer's, sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. Hog Reaction postgame show is fueled by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Real Texas barbecue.
Mentioned fourth. He's going to the bench. Malik Ewan is in. They just teed up Todd Golden. They teed them both up. We are told both coaches got teed up. I don't know where the Cal's upset about the flagrant versus dead ball contact technical. It's getting a little heated here in Gainesville right now in a 23-point game, but no love lost right now between these two.
All right, so what did you make of the interaction between Todd Golden and Cal there? We're both.
I guess the pot boiled over. I think they were both frustrated with the officiating. There had been a lot of appeals and challenges. They'd overturned 2 calls at I just think there was some frustration, and I don't know what was yelled from one end to the other, but clearly something got yelled between the 2 coaching staffs and the head coaches, and that's what led to the technicals. So, both those guys were acting like they want to get loose on each other, but that wasn't going to happen.
No, here's Cal after.
Who knows? We're both competitors. He's done a great job. I can tell you, he outcoached me today.
Yeah, well, he could say that, and there's probably a lot of truth to that. I don't know how much coaching would have helped Arkansas in this 34-point debacle tonight. I do find it interesting, though. You've got the old guard, right? And they were both on display back-to-back games tonight. The old guard with Rick Barnes and John Calipari, and then you've got Nate Oates, who's been to a couple Final Fours, and Todd Golden, who just won the national championship. Those two dynamics that clash tonight. The young guard, or the Young Bucks, won both those games tonight. Listen, you don't really like an opposing coach for any team. I don't have any hatred or ill will towards Rick Barnes. Not a huge fan of Nate Oates. I guess Todd Golden's in that category because they're really good. But I just find those clashes interesting when you have one of the younger coaches in the league versus one of the older guys that's been around the block for a while.
You know who won those games tonight? The team with the better players. I'm with you. I don't know how much coaching really factored into it. I don't think there's anything Todd Golden drew up tonight that was, the difference. He had the better squad. His X's were better than our O's. And that's generally who wins. You don't get to the point, you don't win national titles, you don't do the things the Florida program has accomplished under him and what Cal's accomplished in his career if you don't know how to coach. Age is a number, and it does matter. Experience matters a lot. But the difference tonight in this game and most games was the coaches. The players. The players were better for Florida.
Well, speaking of the players, I do wonder tonight, like LeBaron Philon hits that game winner in Knoxville. Thomas Houck has a tremendous game for Florida tonight. I wonder if Darius Acuff's SEC Player of the Year took a hit tonight in this loss. And 6 of 19 performance and how much that'll affect these final 2 games.
Well, first I didn't think he was going to win the Player of the Year nationally. I don't think that was ever really on the table. SEC Player of the Year, which is I think what you're referring to, yes, it took a hit tonight. 2 games to go. Did they decide that? But is that announced at the conference tournament?
Oof.
Or when did they announce that?
I'll look it up. I can't remember.
So I don't know if conference tournament play will factor into that. I don't want to misspeak on that, but. Yes, it took a hit tonight. Bottom line is he needs to have 2 really good games this week if you're going to have a chance to really win that award. And really, someone from Florida ought to be really in the mix on this. We focus on Philon and focus on our guy in Acuff, but. My gosh, the best player on the best team somewhere got to be somewhere in that conversation.
It's the I think it's the week of the conference tournaments, or right before. At least last year, it was the Tuesday, I think, or early on in the week is when they announce it. So
regular season only.
Yeah, so that's what they'll. Unless that date's off, but last year was March the 10th, which the SEC tournament is going to be that second week of March. So I would think that they're going to announce it at some point that week leading up to the conference tournament in Nashville, or at least maybe that Wednesday when you have some of the lesser teams that are playing later on. And Darius talked about, I talked about the team aspect and everything else, but as I was watching this game tonight, and Houck have a really good game, and Philon hit that shot right before, I was like, I don't know if it's as cut and dry as I thought it was a night or 2 ago, based on what happened in the game. I think for Arkansas, the frustrating thing that people keep coming back to, and people are still texting down the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, is the play of Nick Pringle. And just I watch highlights of him in Alabama and I guess to a certain degree South Carolina. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what the deal is there. I thought there was a weird foul or 2 called on tonight. He got pushed into Boogie Flan one time, and then that kind of weird foul on Chinelu. He just can't catch a break. And I don't know if that's just on him on an effort standpoint or if he's got to do something better. But, man, he has just not been productive. I remember he was the first player that committed and I think signed with Arkansas. And I was so excited that they landed him. And he has just been underwhelming, unfortunately, this season.
You were talking about Ewan?
No, Pringle.
Pringle. Okay, I want to make sure I was. We were talking about the same one because I was talking about the right guy. Yeah, he has not come together at all. Defensively, he's been there, but makes you wonder if there's something we don't know. Is there some kind of underlying injury? We've heard enough about Acuff in the boot. Is there something going on with Pringle that has led to him underperforming? Because he has certainly not improved his stock at all, in the last month or really in conference play at all. Kept waiting on him to come on, and he hasn't. So I'm wondering when the season's over, his time at Arkansas is over because it's coming up here, do we learn that, hey, he had this going on or, some kind of tweaked knee or back or shoulder or something that, now it makes sense. I'm wondering if we're going to find out something like that.
And so John L. Davis, and they're different players. John L. Davis helped lead Florida Atlantic to a Final Four. And I know Nick Pringle was on a team with Alabama, but I wouldn't say he was the one leading the charge. Nelly got going in the NCAA tournament, I think even in the SEC tournament, because he did not have a productive regular season for the most part for the Razorbacks. And we were just kind of wondering, hey, what's going on? I don't know if Nick can necessarily take that substantial jump that we saw from Nelly Davis last year, but it sure would be nice to see a resurgence from him in some way, shape, or form. He had the good game against South Carolina. He had the couple rebounds against Missouri. That was maybe the play of the game when Trevin hit that three. But for the most part, the plays just haven't been there. And I know it's probably more frustrating to him than it is to us. I just hope something changes. Not to get my hopes up or anything, but just thinking about tonight and another look at his box score, it's just like, ugh. Well, hopefully that changes here in the coming weeks. But we're running out of time, Tommy, to be quite honest.
Yep. Nope. And hopefully they get together. Just like tonight, first 30 seconds of the game, Brazil's got his first foul. Set the wrong tone for him. Set the wrong tone for the team. I'm not saying that lost you the game, but that's not how you needed to come out of the box as a player you needed that can't be in foul trouble. Mm-hmm. Pick up his first foul like 30 seconds into the contest.
And it was like a reach-in foul. And it was not needed. And I wrote that. I actually jotted that down in my notes. It's like, man, early foul, you know, like it's been drilled. I asked Malik Ewan and Malik Thomas this. It's like, all right, Carter's out. You kind of just have in your head, you can't foul. And they kind of looked at each other and started laughing because you know that message has been preached. Like, and they know it's like, man, I can't afford to get in foul trouble. I can't afford to pick up a foul that's just out of norm or out of whack. And I know TB's maybe trying to get a steal early on Condon and change some momentum, which Arkansas actually started early hot, and then Florida just took over. But, yeah, Tommy, I agree wholeheartedly. You can't have those fouls early on, especially against a team like Florida, which you know is going to pound you inside all night.
Set the wrong tone for tonight. I don't think that mattered in the end, in the final analysis. But burn the tape, take a good shower, wash it off, and then let's get ready to go for Texas. And we'll forget about Florida with a win over Texas.
All right, we got one more break here, one more segment, I should say, coming up on Hog Reaction. If you've got one final thought, get in here, 877-377-6963. Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, after this.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Sawyer Sunrooms and more, and by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
Wave Rural Connect has some exciting news. Our service is now available in a brand new zone covering parts of Midland and Montreal. If you're along Highway 45, 252 or 253, or on Douglas Road or Slaytonville Road, you can get fast, reliable fiber internet today. Don't miss out. Visit waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect. Internet that works when you need it most.
10 years ago, True Grit Running Company opened its doors with one simple goal: to help people move better, feel stronger, and find their stride. Today, we're celebrating 10 years of True Grit. Join us all year long for anniversary events, group runs, limited edition gear, and plenty of surprises as we kick off 2026. Whether you're chasing a finish line or just starting your journey, thank you for being part of our story. True Grit Running Company, 10 years strong, built by runners.
Take your tax refund the extra mile with a road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle at Rath Auto Resources. We've been working around the clock to beef up our inventory, and we're proud to say this is our best, largest selection of road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles ever. With so many to choose from, price to sell, and backed by a comprehensive warranty, there's no reason to settle for less. Come see why your friends and neighbors voted us the River Valley's #1 pre-owned car dealer, and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, the Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
When it's time to stock the bar, fill the cooler, or grab the perfect bottle, stop by River Point Wine and Spirits. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer at the right price. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. So come stock up for game night, date night, or the weekend ahead. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
You don't just maintain your land, you master it. And at Sutherland's, we've got the steel to help you do it. Experience the brute force of a bad boy mower. These mowers turn a weekend chore into a victory lap. But every great machine needs a home. Our Sutherland's custom barns are built to last. Call 1-800-66-BARNS. Sutherland's, with 4 stores in Arkansas, Fort Smith, Huntsville, Hot Springs, and Stuttgart, and online at Sutherlands.com. No matter the project, we're here to help, because at Sutherland's, home starts here.
Wyatt McIntyre sincerely asks for your vote to be Sebastian County Sheriff. Wyatt is Christian, Republican, and pro-Second Amendment. Wyatt believes in faith, family, and communication to keep people safe. 24 years of law enforcement experience, multiple leadership positions at the Sheriff's Office, currently Police Chief of Mansfield, Arkansas, has lived in Sebastian County over half his life. Early voting begins February 17th until Election Day on March 3rd.
This is Wyatt McIntyre, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Wyatt McIntyre.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. Sawyer's, sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. Hog Reaction postgame show is fueled by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
All right, let's go right to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, where Steve in Bull Shoals has called in, had a thought on the game tonight and the SEC tournament. Steve, fire away.
Hey guys, real quick, I know you're up against it, but I don't see the Razorbacks with a couple tough regular season games and then that SEC tournament. If they get it, they're going to get into the NCAA tournament. And I just think they're going to wear down, mainly because they don't have a lot of depth. They only have those 7 players. I see them being, I hate to say it, maybe a first-round exit in the NCAA tournament, or maybe a second round, but I don't see them advancing far with the lack of depth that they have.
Steve, I personally believe that the ceiling of this team is the Sweet 16. I hope I'm wrong about that, but I think that could play into that. Just the depth could play into that. You'd love to have Carter Knox back. Still don't know his timetable just yet. But yeah, I think you could be onto something there.
Okay, guys, I'll let you go. Thanks.
You got it, Steve. Tommy, you got any thoughts?
All right, thanks, Steve. Well, why Arkansas's been in a mode since Muss was here, where we only had a 7 or 8 player rotation. This isn't new. We see other teams, play with 9 or 10. Is it a lack of funds? Is it a lack of NIL money? Is it coaching philosophy? I think we'll see John Calipari try to probably increase that number at least to a solid 8 and maybe 9 players in the next year. A lot of teams really don't have a true 10th guy that could be a starter. You got some guys that can eat some minutes and give you some breaks, but our lack of depth, and with Carter Knox out, and I don't know if is he gonna be back for the SEC tournament or the NCAA tournament? I don't know. He had a knee scoped, and we'll find out. But you got to get Acuff better, and you got to figure out what's going on with Pringle as well. But yeah, this is a team that's beat up right now because of all the minutes these guys have played.
Yeah, 2 more games this week. Texas on Wednesday night, and then Missouri, you travel to Columbia. The Razorbacks right now outright in 3rd place. A bunch of teams behind you. Tennessee lost today, so they are right behind you as well. I think Kentucky's
nearly won. Needed them to win.
Well, I mean, it's not going to matter, right? Because you're still...
you'd have been playing for 2nd place tonight. It doesn't matter now, but you needed them to win. It have brought Alabama. It puts Alabama in a tough place for you to catch that 2nd seed. But whether you're the 2 or the 3 doesn't matter. You don't want to be the 4.
Tennessee, Missouri, and Kentucky are all at 10-6, right behind Arkansas, which is at 11-5. Alabama's 12 in Florida. And then Florida, like we were talking about earlier, share of the conference title at 14-2, likely to win it outright this week, and probably is going to end up being your tournament champion as well. I think for for Arkansas. You go 1-1 this week. You put yourself in a position where you're probably going to be a 4 inside the top 4. But if you go 2-0, you're just in. That's by math. I guess it just depends. Like, maybe you want to beat Missouri again to have that tiebreaker over them because Texas is sitting at 9-7. So if you just go 1-1, Texas wouldn't have that over, but you still have to worry about if Kentucky wins both. It's like you said earlier, you're going to be watching the games on Tuesday night since Arkansas is the only one on Wednesday.
Arkansas was 18 going into tonight into the net ranking. They may actually go up with a loss. I know that sounds weird, but that's the algorithm. They could move up a spot. We'll see. They're not going to go down. If they go down, it won't be more than 1. But you're wadded up there with Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee. Now, net's not everything, or we wouldn't need a committee. But in the end, if it comes down to it, I'd sure like to have those wins to put yourself ahead of at least Tennessee and Vanderbilt in the conference standings and in the net rankings, if possible, headed into that Selection Sunday.
Yeah, that sure would be nice. All right, so this, as far as
winning's always better than losing.
Yes,
always.
You take it. You take 2 this week. All right, so this week, I guess Monday, I should say, we're going to talk some combine stuff. We got some other college basketball games that we're going to react to this weekend, and leading up to Arkansas's last 2 regular season games, including the last home game at home inside of Bud Walton Arena. This has been Hog Reaction, brought to you by Sawyer Sunrooms and More, the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. For Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I guess Sunday morning. We're back at 9 a.m. on the Morning Rush Monday morning.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, Sawyer Sunrooms and More, and by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue.
The Crane